Hey y'all, had some inspired thought that I wanted to share with you guys based on a discussion that we had this morning, and I got some takeaway points that I'll cover at the end. This is going to be really brief, hopefully, theoretically, even though I can go off on tangents. But, and this topic is something along the lines of the limitations that we put on ourselves based on expectations that we hear from conventional wisdom and mainstream news sources and stuff like that, right? And these limitations that we put on ourselves are inadvertent and for the most part completely unconscious because it's based on this information that we hear and it stays in the back of our minds, you know? And I think it can be very damaging for health. It really can. And this is something that I've turned around with myself over the past few years, so I can empathize with you for being in this realm but not knowing that you're in this realm. And you know, hopefully this discussion is going to be just a little bit of some kind of a wake-up call or something along those lines, you know, all said with compassion and love for sure. But anyway, I came in this morning, and before our CrossFit workouts in the morning, got a plane going overhead, classic. Before our CrossFit workouts in the morning, we usually congregate and we BS a little bit. Sometimes we'll do some mobility, and Ryan Duplex was in there talking to Colby, asking him a question, and it spurred this discussion, this three-way discussion. I thought it was just some really good points that we came up with. And Ryan Duplex, man, he's doing such a great job. Like, he is really trying to live and implement everything that we talk about as far as real food and sleep and the fitness stuff that we teach in here. And he's always in the scientific literature. He's always up to date with news and health statistics and stuff like that. And so he comes to us with some really good discussion questions, and sometimes they're a little bit debating, argumentative, dare I say, Ryan? I don't know, something like that. But it's all comes from a good place, because really what he's trying to do is figure out, like, what's possible, like how far can I get, what kind of goals can I expect for myself and things like that. So the question was something along the lines of, and I called him afterwards just to kind of confirm his thoughts on this, something along the lines of, you know, when you're in your teens, you have certain hormonal levels and certain testosterone levels and certain capacity to develop strength and grow and put on muscle and recover. And as we get older, that changes, you know. So what are our thoughts on that? You know, when you hit your 30s and 40s and 50s, you know, we're supposed to have these declining hormonal levels or suboptimal hormonal levels, and we lose our capacity to build strength and muscle and put on muscle and recover and things like that. And how does that impact performance? And it was a great discussion, and I love getting these discussions sometimes with Colby, because Colby is like one of my really good friends, and dare I say best friend. I don't know if we use those terms as adults anymore, but I've got a lot of best friends actually, or several. But one of my really good friends, because we're so connected with all this information. We live everything that we preach, and Colby, you know, eats real food the way that we teach it, and he gets sun exposure every day, and he sleeps at night really well. And of course I do the fitness that he programs, and he does the fitness that he programs, and we both meditate every day, and we both practice mindfulness every day, and we really do our best to be connected with people and listen to them and try to give really encouraging and useful advice. And so when we get in these discussions, like, you know, it's all positive, like nothing but good stuff comes out of it. And Ryan even said it, you know, like in the discussion on the phone, he's like, man, I really appreciate you guys like coming up with this information. Sometimes I come just to hear you guys say this stuff back to me. So here's the deal. We hear all kinds of different statistics and information and predictions about what we can expect about our health and performance and longevity and life expectancy from conventional wisdom and mainstream news sources and even the scientific literature. You know, like you hear it all the time about like the expectancy of men to develop cancer over a lifetime, women to develop cancer over a lifetime, and cardiovascular disease and metabolic syndrome and diabetes and life expectancy rates and things like that. And then things like Ryan was asking about how our hormonal patterns change over time, and we lose our capacity to put on muscle and recover the same way, and all those kinds of things. And and the problem with this information is that it is based on a population that is degenerating and sick. It's averages and statistics and information based on a diseased and sick population for the most part. And unfortunately, you know, I say that with nothing but compassion and love, because I was a part of that population years ago. It's why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's why we're all doing what we're doing, because we know what it feels like to be a part of that population and a part of that mindset. And the problem with that information is that it is damaging over the long term, because when I hear this information and I believe it to be true, I am putting expectations on myself to look for those proof of that information in my environment to support that information. And so it's a self-fulfilling prophecy is what it is. It really is. And so if this information is based on a generally sick population, I believe that information, then I am forcing my unconscious mind and my body's chemistry to support that information, and I move myself in the direction of fulfilling those expectations, if that makes any sense. That sounds like I really made that complicated sounding, but I think you understand the gist of what I'm saying. And so what we said this morning is, that's based on this population over here. When you enter our realm and you start to eat real food and you get sun exposure every day and you sleep well at night and you mitigate the toxins you're exposed to and you try to meditate and you do all these different things that we recommend for health, you are no longer a part of that general population in those statistics. You are now a part of a new population that is creating new statistics and new expectations. But the mindset also has to change to some degree. So is it true that our hormonal patterns change over time and our metabolic activity and rate and expenditures and our ability to recover and recuperate change over time? Maybe, but I don't think about that stuff anymore, because I like to think about what is possible. Is it possible to get better as you get older and stronger and more fit and more flexible and more conditioned, and to have better thinking and better emotional stability and better focus and better energy levels and better body composition and all the things that we're all looking for? Absolutely. We're living proof of that each and every day. Every year that goes by, I am blowing myself away as far as how much I'm improving with my health. And we see this happen with all of our people. And so is it possible to get better as time goes on? Is it possible to step outside of those statistics and those averages and that general sick population norm? Is it possible to get better as we get older and to have things improve as we get older, and to see things different from the way that we see things as a general population? Absolutely. We are proving this each and every day. And I think a lot of times we want to know what is possible, and we want to have this crystal ball to tell us what to expect. But the problem is, I would not want to know what is supposed to happen, because the magic of this life that we're in and this journey and this adventure is uncertainty. And in that uncertainty, anything is possible, everything is possible, especially if you have health on your side. When you have health on your side, then all the rules change. And that was the point that we were trying to make with Ryan this morning. And the bottom line is, it doesn't change what you have to do on a daily basis. So every day you still need to come in here and bust your ass at the workout, and you need to do your best to eat real food the way that we recommend eating real food. You need to do your best to get sun exposure and go to bed on time and have good sleep patterns and meditate every day. All those things you still have to do. And so it doesn't change what you have to do on a daily basis. And so then it boils down to, if I still have to do these things every day, what is my mindset as I'm doing these things every day? If I have a mindset of limitation and expectations of certain things that are supposed to happen because I'm a certain age or at a certain level or a certain gender or demographic type or something like that, but I still have to do these things every day, I'm not going to get the results that I could get, because I'm programming myself for limitation and an expectation of limitation, even though that could be somewhat unconscious, all right? But in addition to doing these things that I have to do every day anyway, to be my best and feel my best, if I have an attitude of anything is possible, everything is possible, and an expectation of amazingness, and understanding that I'm not like everybody else because I'm doing things different from everybody else, then I'm programming myself to look for those environmental cues that support infinite possibilities. And that's the bottom line. I sit here and I tell myself each and every day, I'm amazing, I am fit, I am strong, I am healthy, I'm conditioned, I'm flexible, I can do these things that I never thought were possible. I can have a relationship that I never thought was possible, and finances and career and all this kind of stuff. And guess what? That's exactly what's happening. And it's not because I'm some anomaly. It's not because we're some anomalies or some genetic freaks or have some predisposition to have some kind of an amazing life. We were all where everybody else was before. I was extremely overweight, pre-diabetic, high blood pressure. I was on a downward decline. And with the power of this holistic health journey and the foundations for health that we teach, real food, functional fitness, getting sun every day, learning what you need to do to sleep properly, meditating, practicing mindfulness, community, all these different things that we try to teach, with the power of that information, I've completely turned my health around, and with that power of health comes this expectation of infinite possibilities, okay? All right, so here's our big takeaways. Statistics and predictions, especially when it pertains to health and happiness and longevity and quality of life, are based on a generally sick population. And when you enter our holistic health realm and you learn how to eat real food and move properly, and the importance of sun exposure and proper sleep patterns and meditation and mindfulness and community and all these different things that we teach in our foundations, you have taken yourself out of that general population and you've entered into a new population that is creating its own new statistics and expectations about what is possible. We need to catch ourselves with this limited mindset and thinking in terms of declining health and declining hormonal levels and patterns and what's possible. And instead, we need to flip that around and have a mindset of anything is possible. What is possible? How far can I go? How much better can I feel? And we need to have this mindset of like, I am not like everybody else anymore. I'm in a different realm. Those same rules do not apply. And if you are in that generally sick population, it's okay, because most of us were there before too. And all you have to do is make the decision to cross over into this new realm, and all the rules change. Okay? And I think that's about all I got to say for today. All right? Love you guys so much. Thanks.